Welcome back to Adventure Repeat. Thanks for being with us. So, this is your first time here. Make sure you like the video, comment, tell us what you think about it. Tell us what else you want to hear about, and subscribe. We got a lot of great content coming, and we got a lot of great content on this channel already, so be sure to check it out. So, today we are talking about the service schedules for the 2024 Chevrolet 2500HD with the 6.6 liter gasoline engine and Allison transmission. So, if you wanted the old-fashioned paper book, the kind you used to get in the manuals and things like that, they used to come with the truck, you can go order it from GM for $50 a piece, which is absolutely ridiculous. For when you spend this kind of money on a truck, you should at least get the dang manual with it. But you can also download the PDF that has the same information that you would in that paper manual and sort through all the pages and things like that. Supposedly you can get this information on the app. I only had the app work for like 2 weeks, and after that I could not get into the service information anymore, so it's kind of disappointing. But for what GM calls out for is right here. So OEM listing is oil change at 7,500 miles or 1 year. Cabin filter is 22,500 miles or every 2 years. Transfer case, they want it done at 50,000 miles. The hood struts that hold the hood up and down, they want it done at 100,000 miles or every 10 years. Engine coolant, $150,000 or miles or 6 years. So that's kind of the chemicals in it start to break down after that time, so they like to have it changed out. So that's kind of a good service thing. A lot of people don't do it. Seals start failing around that mark, but it's not as big of a deal. But that is what they call out for the engine coolant. Brake fluid, every 5 years. Brake fluid likes to accumulate moisture, and over time that moisture, if it gets in the fluid, will break down your brake lines and rot them out, along with your seals and your brake calipers and things like that will start seizing up. And water doesn't compress the same as hydraulic fluid. It actually squishes more, so you actually get a spongier pedal feel over time as more accumulates in the brake fluid system. So that's why they want you to flush out the brake fluid every 5 years. AC desiccant, they want done at 7 years. So your air conditioner system with a compressor in its loop, it does not like moisture. It does not like being exposed to air. So they have a desiccant inside that system that pulls moisture out of it so everything keeps running efficiently. So what that does is make sure the compressor doesn't fail early, make sure the charging, the system all works efficiently. So they like to do that every 7 years. If you have severe service, severe duty, if you're a plow truck, if you are commercially hauling this thing, you're hauling a lot of heavy loads, things like that, severe service, the only thing that changes is the transfer case and transmission intervals. The transfer case is now 25,000 miles instead of 50,000 miles, and transmission, they want you to start doing it every 45,000 miles. Otherwise, the transmission is apparently filled for life, and you're good to go. That's not what I think, but that is what GM calls for in their manual if you scroll through all the sections as it's called out for services. I go by a little different set of routine schedules, and it's similar, but what mine are right here. I do my oil change every 5,000 miles. Oil is a very cheap preventative maintenance item. Just changing your oil more often will allow you to get further along the road and longer life out of your engine. These trucks are an investment. These engines are an investment. A few dollars spent here and there makes up for it in the long run, so I always change mine early and make sure I do it with good oil as well, because I want to protect my investment. Axle fluids. They're not actually called out for in the manual. I do mine every 75,000 miles because just like brake fluid, it accumulates moisture, things like that, and that will break down your bearings. When I do the axle fluid changes, I pull the diff covers off to inspect, to make sure all the bearings are tight inside the axle, because you don't want a bearing failing and then the axle blowing apart. So just change the fluid every 6 or 7 years with 75,000 miles is usually kind of a standard pace. Is just a preventative maintenance to make sure you're not replacing an entire axle if you're just doing fluid, or at worst bearings. That's a very cheap part compared to replacing an entire axle. Transfer case, I'll do about 45,000 miles. I plow, but I don't need it where I do it every 25,000 miles, so a 45,000 mile interval would be more than happy for me. I take care of my stuff. I'm not beating on it too often. And plowing is only 3 months out of the year, and lately in Michigan, it's been very lacking. So a 45,000 mile interval should be sufficient for this transfer case. The transmission, I will service at 45,000 miles, just like I'm going to do the transfer case, just because I want to protect my investment. I want to make sure this transmission lasts because I pull loads, I plow, I work this truck, so I want it to last. I don't want it to fail me during that time of the process. So that is the service schedules that are called out in the manual. This is all the things you're going to find and see on this truck. OEM, their severe service call out, and this is what I'm going to personally do and change with my truck. So if you like what you see here, make sure you like the video. We appreciate it. Comment, tell us what you think. Tell us what else you want to hear about. Tell us if we missed something on this schedule so somebody else can hear about it too. We want to make sure everybody else is informed as well. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. We got a lot of great content coming. So remember, have a great adventure.